Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Red Devils podcast. As usual, we've got a lot to talk about. This is the Manchester United versus Everton reaction. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty... There's a lot of emotions. It's going to be pretty negative today, so brace yourselves. Let's get straight into it, guys. Let's talk about the result. Firstly, how are you guys feeling about the result?
I want to kill all of them. That's how I feel.
I feel
it was quite bad.
Like, it's depressing.
It was.
You know what? All United fans out there, you know what? Don't commit suicide. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
If you do, I don't blame you. I'm just kidding. No, but for real, I think the problem is with this Manchester United performance. It's more than just a result. It's more than just a result because I didn't see anything today. Bar the first 25 minutes, I didn't see anything. Obviously, Everton got a free goal, and then they were like, okay, we're just going to sit back now and soak the pressure, because they had the goal. They had no reason to keep attacking. They were playing such a high line in the first half. And then Lindelof and their misunderstanding there, both of them are responsible, in my opinion, because a keeper should command his 18-yard area in a corner. Yeah. Like, that's standard. So you can't blame a guy at the back post for a ball coming at an awkward angle at about knee height. A mistake. Sure, there was contact with the arm, and sure, it happens. But, like, somebody has to be held accountable, and I think they both are. There's just so much, guys. There's just so much. I don't know which one.
We've never been good at corners. We can't defend them for shit, and we can't score them for shit. If we get a corner, just give them a fucking goal kick, honestly.
Definitely, man. I feel like Maguire was so lazy in the air today. I don't know if it was Everton defending well, but I feel like it's just laziness because it's not just against Everton that we've been crap in the air. A lot of people will take a lot of stick or will take a pop at Luke Shaw today, but I think he actually played well because, and by well, please don't mix my words up. I mean well in context of how bad our team was. He was productive going forward, and he did lob a few balls in, and nobody was there to take them. You could argue that the quality of the ball wasn't good enough. That's up for debate. I'm open to debate that. But at the end of the day, out of the people going forward, I think he was even a little bit more productive than Rashford was, because some of the balls that Rashford in, I was just scratching my head like, mate, you're the one we looked to.
And also the shots he took today.
Yeah. Now, you know what? I think there was a combination of problems today. Like, it was so bad. To start, I think the defense did quite well. Bar the own goal, I think the defense wasn't too bad. But, like, to start, Ole does not learn. Ole does not learn.
Bro,
we saw you can't play counter-attacking against a team that's going to sit back. And I use an example with Wolves. When we were a stronger team, it's going to be more of a problem. And that's what happened. Yes, we were good for like 5 minutes to start the game, but then bar that, we weren't creating anything. We were creating nothing. And then second half, again, we held the ball more, but then we saw the threat to the midfield because we started creating a bit more, but it was still not enough. And then he brings on Matt with 5 minutes left. Like, what's going on with this dude?
I want to give a bit of a rebuttal there because me and Shawnee were talking before the show, and I took a bit of a pop at him, and I said, I don't think Everton was sitting back in that first half, though. In the second half, 100%, 1,000,000% Everton was sitting back because they got the goal. They got their Christmas present, their early Christmas present. But in the first half, particularly in that, I don't know, was it like middle to second period of the first half, I think Everton were playing quite a high line, and they had most of the ball anyways. So, I don't even think Everton. What's embarrassing to me about Ole today is I don't even think his plan A worked against a team that was playing a high line. United should have punished Everton. They weren't playing a high line the entire time. That's not what I'm saying, and I'm not. But they were pressing. If you go back and watch that game and you watch the first 35 minutes, you will see that there was an opportunity for Dan James, Rashford, and I don't know who else was there because Martial was non-existent. There was an opportunity for them to hit Everton on the break because Everton was playing a high line. I was watching on Sky Sport. The commentator even said, Everton's playing such a high line, how brave of them. And I was like, so this is what you wanted. And your plan A is not even working against the team. And granted, Everton didn't play the high line the whole game, obviously. But they had their chance.
I get that and I hear you. But I feel like it was more Everton not putting as much bodies as a smaller team would. But what they were doing, there was a big chunk at the back, and then they were leaving people up. They were doing what we do, actually. They were doing what we did against Man City. So, yes, we had spaces and chances, but then at the end of the day, they were just defensive to a certain point. Like Don Hutchinson said on Supersport, that he's playing 4-4-2 and leaving 2 strikers up front. What Marco Silva would have done is play the whole bag backwards at the back. So, yes, it wasn't as deep, but it was still quite deep, and I feel like we paid for that.
Definitely. Like ball retention at Manchester United, 0%. No ball retention. We don't
I
know
just
how
don't even
to.
want us to have the ball. Can we let them have the ball even? Just kick it to them if we get it.
I
Which we
don't
do
want
anyways.
that,
We just do it
though. I want
anyways.
us to play football. I want us to play football. Sorry to cut
Like,
you off,
wasn't
but like,
working.
I
Because, like,
want
yeah.
this team to play football. Sorry, you can go on.
No, it's fine. But like we tried that. Like Maguire keep hitting balls that were going nowhere. It was annoying me so much, over and over again. It's not working, gents. Do something else.
The thing with United is what I saw from Manchester United and what I've been seeing ever since I started watching them more regularly again is I've noticed the patterns where when teams don't press up against us and play an extremely high line and go in all the way and don't give us that space to run in behind, we do this thing where we pass in our back four and hope we can draw them out and then just lob it forward, like just play a long ball, and it never works out. And to me, that says we don't actually know how to look after the ball. Because, yes, it's okay to play risky passes and go forward. I'm all for that. But you cannot sit for 90 minutes and have one of your centre-halves kick the ball forward and lose it, and then we're back waiting for a chance to get the ball and hit in the break again. And then we lose the ball, and then we let them come back. And it's the same thing over and over and over.
You know,
it's so
and then
annoying.
the first 10 minutes, I had so much hope because Lindelof put in a ping ball through everyone, and someone else put in another ping ball through everyone. And I was like, no, surely we could just play well today.
Yeah, like I understand the midfielders' excuse, like we have no midfielders, but then that's not an excuse not to try. You have to try and make what you have, get the midfielders you have playing better in that style. You couldn't just not do it, and then one day, eventually, when you get midfielders, now you're going to change the style. That's what kind of management style is that?
And listen. Anybody who's going to complain about the quality of staff at Manchester United, and whether you're using that as an excuse for Ollie in, or you're using that as an excuse for the club, or you're just having a genuine pop at the players and saying they're not good enough, I don't buy it, man. These guys are footballers. Man. They're professional footballers. The least that they can do in their specialist roles is retain the ball. You know, like, you don't have to be a flair-full star player with all the technical attributes and all the skills in the world. I think one thing that's really poor at Manchester United that has nothing to do with talent or high levels of skill is retaining the ball. Look after the ball. And that's not restricted to the guy who's on the ball, by the way. I think I heard someone touch on this earlier. I think a huge problem at Manchester United is when someone has the ball, they do not have options. Like, United pass the ball and then they just stand still. Create options, create space, make triangles for the, like, you know, AZ Alkmaar did this well against us.
Someone make a run or something, guys.
Yeah, you do something. And that's what, you know, I know a lot of people like to have a pop at Lingard, but that's what Lingard did well against the big teams, at least. You know, but nobody else does that. Nobody runs into those pockets of space. And we need that. We need the technical side of our game to be lifted because, like, come on. You're professional footballers. Like, you don't just pass the ball and stand still, you know.
And the fans know this. The fans know this. How does the coaching staff and this team not get it? It does.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like, this happened against Sheffield. It happened against Villa. It happened today. It happened during the week. Like, it's all or not learn. Same.
You know
thing
what's
over
funny about
and
today,
over
though?
again.
Today, Everton didn't even score. It was an own goal.
Yeah, they didn't even score.
You know what's even more disgusting? We could have won this game and we would have been sitting there like, oh, we're so close to top 4, haha, because we played so well. But no, we didn't play well. And it's so sad that we lost to a team that didn't even score. Like, we lost to a team that didn't score. We couldn't score enough goals to negate the effects of the own goal, which is, to me, I don't know, man, that's worrying.
Yeah,
They get paid to do this. They get paid. Only gets paid. This coaching gets. They get paid to run this team. Freaking let the fans do it. I'll do it for free. Put me there.
Because, like, I want to ask you guys this question. If Lindelof doesn't concede that own goal, but the match plays out exactly the way it played out, except for the fact that Lindelof didn't concede the goal and he cleared it out, are you actually happy with this result? Are you actually convinced by it?
I would have
My
been
answer-
happy because we got the result, but like it
Yeah,
wasn't
okay, we
like
would have
something
been
to
happy
build on. There wasn't
But-
progression. There's nothing to learn from.
Yeah. So you wouldn't have been happy with the actual football, the quality of football.
But I would have been very, very happy that we got the result.
Hey, man, if we win, I'm obviously always going to be happy, but you've got to be critical.
And
So
today was a must win game.
it was a super must win, bro. It's crazy.
I feel like us fans get lost in the hype. So if we had won, most of us would probably be happy. But then,
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of holes in that team. And now, Tottenham is 3 points from Chelsea. They're playing Chelsea next. They're probably going to beat Chelsea. And then I don't see them dropping off because they don't lose to small teams like us.
Yep.
True that. Football can change. Football can change in a very short space of time, but that's true. What does this result mean for Ole and the fan base and Manchester United in general?
I think the Oli outers are going to come back out of the bushes. They're going to come back full swinging. In terms of his career, it's not going anywhere. The board's going to keep him. This guy is going to stay here forever.
Yeah.
But he needs to learn. He's not learning. Like, come on, today was the perfect day to go. We had to win. I'm so sad.
Like,
I've heard that from United fans.
I feel like
Yeah, you can go.
I feel like I'm not gonna jump on the whole Ole out train yet again. Or I am Ole out, but I'm not gonna be extremely vocal about it again. But I feel like it just proves that we need signings even more. And I feel like he needs to at least be in touching distance until he can sign those players. Because if he's not, like, the pressure is gonna rank up on him. So it's about to get tough all over the social.
You know what I think we need? Besides new signings, besides a director of football, besides a new chief executive officer or chairman, whatever Ed Woodward's fancy job title is, besides accountant, I think what we actually need is to teach our team how to hold the ball. I think what we actually need is a different plan other than this counter-attacking nonsense. Because, we can have a pop at the players all we want. We can have a pop at the players all day long. But these guys are not horrible or terrible footballers. We've seen them play well at points throughout their career. And that is, for me, that's evidence enough that they're not trash footballers. Otherwise, they would have never made it into this club in the first place. And, I'm not even asking for much. I'm not saying we should have beat Everton 4-0 or 5-0. I'm just saying we should hold the ball.
Dude, it's like these tactics are leaving this team for dead. Hang them out to dry. Dead.
It's crazy. We don't know how to hold the ball. Even towards the end, I saw McTominay give away the ball when there was 4 minutes added on, and we were halfway through the 4 minutes. I think it was Lindelof cleared the ball, and then an Everton player went and lost it. McTominay made such a reckless pass. I'm like, my guy, there's 3 guys around you. You have time. Pass it to one of them, make the run, and progress slowly up the field.
Today, we never hit quick passes, but today, if you hit quick pass, this Everton team was slow. With our front two, we should have ate them. Pass the ball quickly, one through ball, and it's done. It's done.
Mate. It's like, it's unbelievable, honestly. It's unbelievable. Even the goal from Greenwood, by the way, there was nothing in that. It was just Dan James who decided to take a little bit of a run through the middle of the park.
Yeah, but that's
so
what
it's open.
That's the one thing I like about him. He can have a stinker of a game. He's still gonna go to the wing and he will put in the ball, and just that's all good. That's all.
And this goes back to what I was saying Thursday evening. I don't want to go too far off topic, but this goes back to what I was saying Thursday evening. A lot of people took shots at Pereira for having a horrible game, and I think a similar thing has happened with Dan James. But because it's Dan James, and because Greenwood scored, and because emotions are high, people are going to forget. But the same thing happened to Pereira, and this is what I said in the last podcast. When you've got to treat attacking players differently to midfielders, because attacking players don't need to play well for 90 minutes. They just need to have one moment, dependent on how big the deficit is. In this case, it was 1-0 and Everton didn't even score. Dan James only needed one moment of brilliance, and he got it. Well, I wouldn't even say it was brilliant. It was just a simple pass.
He just did what no one else in this team does.
Yeah, and then Greenwood came in. I think Greenwood deserves most of the credit for that goal because it wasn't
You
excellent.
know what? This kid is
But
different gravy. Different.
So yeah, like if Martial had scored in that game, people would have said he had a good game. When in actual, but because he didn't score, he's had a terrible game, and because he didn't really have much of a part to play, and like some of the decisions he made, I was very disappointed with. Same with Rashford.
I
Same
think
with
it was
Rashford.
his worst game in a while.
Yeah, same with Rashford. If Rashford had scored one of those questionable shots, people would have said, "Oh, he's on fire. He's in such good form," but he didn't, and that's the margin between success and failure sometimes as an attacking player. And I think like this result today and how poorly all our attackers as a collective, besides Mason Greenwood, played, it just solidifies my point.
But I don't like taking a go at the attackers too much because I feel like there's too much workload on them. It's always down to them to turn around the situation. I feel like if the ball keeps coming from midfield, they will be more prolific. If the ball keeps coming, but the thing is, it doesn't keep coming, and then they have to be playing at 100% every game to make a difference, and it's so hard for them.
I don't disagree. But at the same time, I'm not giving out sympathy points because, yes, the midfield has been terrible, but a clinical attack, an attack that's as good as people glorify our Manchester United attack to be, would put some of those chances away. Rashford cannot blame a lack of service for the shot he took. That was his decision. Legit, if he just passed the ball, we could have been in a better situation and we could have gone on and scored in that attack. But no, I'm Rashford. I want to take a shot and I want to hit it straight at Pickford. That's got nothing to do with Fred and McTominay. That's all got to do with Rashford and his decision making. So I agree, but let's not give out sympathy points because yes, we know our midfield is shit, but our attack has been shit today as well. They deserve some of the stick as well. Dan James, besides that decision to pass to Greenwood, he's taken a lot of questionable shots before that. And I'm like, mate, pass the ball, mate. And you see what happened when he passed the ball. He allowed someone whose job it is to finish to actually get on the end of it and score.
And this guy finishes.
Yeah, the difference between Greenwood scoring, not scoring, is Dan James deciding to be selfish and go for a shot and look at the headlines. And that's what Rashford did all day today, by the way. That's what Rashford did all day. Even when he had a free kick, he decided to take a pop at goal when he had a free kick on the side of the box. I'm like, what? In what world do you score those free kicks, Rashford? Like that's not. I don't know, man. That free kick, the decision he took was.
I told you guys. I don't take shots Rashford because we don't fall, but he thinks he's Ronaldo.
I don't think it's that, to be honest. I feel like it's down to this misconception that he has to take onus because he's an attack and make a difference because we're under pressure and we're losing. I think it's more that, to be honest.
I don't look. Whatever the reason is, it's not an excuse because Rashford did, again, nobody held a gun to his head and said shoot. There was options. It's not like Rashford was alone in the attack. If Rashford was alone and Martial was slacking and James wasn't making runs or anything like that, I'd be like, yeah, okay, aware. He needs to take a shot. He needs to do something. But he had options. James also had options. And the one time he took it, we actually got a goal, which is the point I'm making. So I'm not taking a go at Rashford or taking a pop at the attack because I just for the sake of it. I'm taking it because I genuinely believe the decision making could have been a little bit better under the circumstances. We can't keep looking at the midfield and not focusing on the decision making of some of our attacks, even the defenders, like these long balls that they're playing. Come on, gents.
No, but you can see that that's clear that you can see they've been told to do that. It's clear that in the first half, Ole wants counter-attacking because he wants to defy logic somehow. It's going to happen. It's going to work in small teams because Ole said it will.
Yeah, okay, so that's Ole. I agree. Man, it's just, I don't know. I feel like to answer my own question, since you guys have given both your thoughts, this result, well, actually we heard thoughts from Shawnee, and Rita will come on to you in a bit, but this result for me, I think, means... we've talked about what it means for Ole, and I'm not going to get too much into that. But for Manchester United, I think it's another setback. It's another slap in the face. Like we're sat here with eggs on our face. Those of us who came into this game being positive because it's happened again, another week after Manchester United. This one's even worse because we beat two big teams in the space of 7 days. And then we went on and won a EuroLeague game convincingly. Not scrappy, convincingly, 4-0 with without anyone in our first team playing, pretty much. And then against Everton, a team with a new manager, we can't. I don't even know, man. It's even, you know what makes this result worse is the fact that it's self-inflicted. Like,
dude, it's like they're taking the piss. They're being rude. They're actually disrespecting us fans.
I don't know, man. I have no words. Do you guys have anything else to add on, or do you want to move on to the player ratings?
Yeah, no, I think
Move on to the player ratings.
I think the pressure will be on. I feel like he has a chance to redeem himself or redeem the situation because of the run of games he has coming. But like he has to win. Before we get to Arsenal, he has to get 3 points in pretty much all the games before Arsenal to get us in a good situation, top 4 wise.
Yeah.
Like every game must win. I don't want to see a draw. I don't want to see nothing. Must win.
I don't see that happening, honestly.
I don't want Oli to come out of today and say a draw was a good result. I'll smack this guy. I'll smack.
He will.
He will.
He will. He definitely will, because he's Mr. Positive. You know, he looks at the positives. But player ratings then. Let's go on and have a pop at the players. David De Gea, what you lot giving them?
5. Should have been stronger with that. Really should have been stronger. Should have been commanding. Oh my god, yeah, just straight 5. I don't know.
Yeah, like I'm tempted to even give him a 4 because I didn't see him do anything amazing, and that was really bad. You should have punched that away. So I'm gonna go 4, honestly.
I think he did make two really good saves though. The one very early on in the game where he hit the post. I mean, I've seen a lot of keepers let those sorts of things in, and one towards the very end of the game. Well, okay, for David De Gea's standards, it wasn't amazing, but like it was still a good save because he dived and he reached.
I'm still sticking with my 4, to be honest. I thought it was his fault. It was more his fault than Lindelof's fault, in my opinion.
Yeah, I also think it was more his fault than Lindelof's.
I'm gonna give him a 5. I think a 4 is unfair. I think he didn't play as bad as Matic did the other evening, so I'm going to be consistent with my rating. 5. He made one mistake, unlike Matic, who made like 17 bazillion mistakes. But anyways, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, what you guys giving him?
I think he was average. You know, defensive was unbeatable, but then going forward, oh my god, this guy, he can't. Do we have to pay another 50 million for him to cross the ball?
Winners corners, like at least hit it against the guy and let it go out. Like that's
come on, it is just hit it against the guy or something. No, actually, don't hit it against the guy because you know if we get a corner, just give a fucking goal kick.
Yeah.
Paid 80 million pounds on Harry Maguire, you can't hit a ball for shit. It's not his fault also because some of the crosses are just oh my god.
Yeah, what you giving Aaron Wan-Bissaka out of 10?
Sorry.
I said 6, Rita.
Yeah, I think if he improves going forward, he's probably one of the best right backs in the world. But yeah, he's quite horrible at it. So I'm gonna give him a 6 as well. It was an average performance. He made some crucial tackles, but besides that, he did nothing else.
Hey mate, I'm gonna give him a 5 because he did nothing going forward. I'm gonna give him a 5 straight up. You know.
I say 6 because like 1-on-1, you just can't beat him.
Yeah, he saved us also.
I feel like he deserves an average performance for that.
Yeah, I guess that's the whole point of fan opinion. Like we're allowed to disagree. Moving on to Harry Maguire. Actually, no, to Lindelof. He's the Lindelof, what you giving him? He didn't get beat 1-on-1, so you know, be consistent and be fair.
Okay, I feel like
I'm gonna give him a 5. He got a own goal, but I felt like he was left for dead there. I didn't expect him to do anything, so I'm gonna give him 5.
Yeah, but why are you giving him 5? You literally just said you didn't expect him to do much for the own goal. I just want to hear your reasoning.
You said like he scored the own goal, and like defensively, you know, he didn't really have much to do, and I don't think he was average. He was below average.
So you do you do blame him for the own goal? Then you're contradicting yourself.
I mean, on the paper sheet it'll say Lindelof own goal.
Yeah,
what I think.
So you're blaming him.
What I think, to be honest, yes, it was more De Gea's fault. But then Lindelof's positioning as well. Who was he marking? He was marking no one. What was he doing there? So for that, I do blame him.
It's completely conventional for people to stand at the back post,
Sorry?
but go on. I said it's completely conventional for someone to stand at the back post during corners, but go on.
Okay, fair. That's a fair point. But then, no, okay, that's a fair point. But then, still, he did have a decent game. But then, after scoring the own goal, there were here and there he'd make some stupid mistakes, like pass.
Yeah, I
the ball
felt like
out.
his head dropped.
So because of that, yeah, I'm gonna say 5.
That's fair. I'll give him a 5 as well because I think the whole defense was crap. But anyways, Maguire. What are you guys giving him?
He missed some headers up front, but defensively, yeah, I don't know. I felt like he was 5. He wasn't really average. He was just below.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he seems to be under pressure. Eh?
Yeah, it seems like he has this pressure for some. And he was our captain. Yeah. It didn't look like we had a leader out there today, and he was the captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got the armband way too early.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give him a 6.
6, yeah. Fair enough. Look, 6. If you want to give sympathy points, go ahead in the comment section below. But this is a competitive sport, and these are professionals. I don't give sympathy points. He was poor on the pitch today. Anything before that has got nothing to do with today's match rating. So I'm going to give him a 5 as well and be consistent with my ratings. Luke Shaw.
Going forward, he usually tried, at the first half, he was at least overlapping. Defensively, they knew he was the weakness, so Everton will always come down that side. But I'm going to give him a 5.
Yeah, Rick, do you agree with
5?
Or you disagree?
You know what? I don't know. I thought he had a decent game, to be honest, because I thought going forward he was good. I think defensively against Tottenham, against Man City, he was found out a little bit, but I think he improved in this game because I didn't see him make too many mistakes at the back. So I'm going to give him a 7.
I think I agree with that because firstly, Luke Shaw didn't make any major mistakes that cost us the game, so that makes him average defensively. But going forward, he was way more productive than Harry Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof put together. I think Lindelof had that one chance where he nearly had
that ping ball, boy. That one before with his conceded the goal.
Yeah. So I think Luke Shaw genuinely was the difference on that left-hand side because he made so many overlaps. And he didn't just overlap like Wan-Bissaka. He actually overlapped and created chances. So I think a 7 is fair. I'm going to... Yeah, I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7. Let's move on to Fred. What do you think of Fred?
My boy played today. You know what? This shit as this team was today. Fred, I couldn't fault Fred for anything. I think, Fred worked his ass off. He did everything he could. I'm going to give Fred a 7.
He was even brilliant defensively, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to give Fred a 7. Did nothing wrong for me.
But yeah, Rita, you agreeing with that?
Yeah, I think we're starting to see the consistency. I don't think he's the Fred we thought we were buying from Shakhtar yet, because like at Shakhtar, he usually hits some amazing balls. But I think we're getting there. And he made some good passes going forward. He was good defensively. So yeah, I think 7 is sufficient.
Okay, we move on. Oh, I'm going to give him a 7 too, by the way. We move on to McTominay.
More like Fluffy today or something. I don't know. Today.
McShit,
yeah, today, yeah. Can I go to McDonald's? Can I get one McShit, please? Because that was, yeah. Today, it just seemed like he was, I don't know,
I think I'll give my rating first, and I'll preface it by saying this, okay? Look, as a midfielder, the most basic part of your job is to protect the ball, win the ball in the middle of the park if you're a holding midfielder or a defensive midfielder, and to create something going forward. And that doesn't mean being directly involved, but just distribution, ball distribution. I didn't see that from McTominay today. He lost the ball a lot of times. And I think he was just a bit reckless in his decision-making compared to usual. He just wasn't in the game. I don't know what's wrong with him. So I'm going to give him a 4. Straight up.
I think he was invisible. He gave the ball away. He didn't create anything. So I think a 4 is also fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be very harsh right now. I feel like Fred maybe can grow into it, but I feel like Fred and McTominay could not start in the team that wins the league. To be honest with you, because I think what we saw in McTominay today is that I don't want to say he's young because he's 22. I mean, he's not that young.
To be fair,
He has okay, fine. Let's say he's young, and because of that, he can be quite inconsistent. So I think it proves even more that we need to buy players. Like we need players if we're going to be challenging for the league. Whenever we need to buy players. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 6.
Yeah, look, with McTominay, like, of course, he's not a youth prospect anymore. He's not a player who plays in the youth team and occasionally gets a start. He has become somewhat of a mainstream player for Manchester United, but he's still very young. I think when you break away from the youth excuses, when you're about 23, 24, especially 24, when you're 24, between 24 and 27 or 28, for some players even 29, I would say those are your prime years as a player. Anything before that, you're still young, you're still developing, and anything after that, you're starting to drop off a little bit, depending on, obviously there's exceptions in life. But
Cristiano.
Oh, there it is. And Zlatan, he just kept getting better. But anyways, let's not get off topic. We move on to the number 10, Jesse Lingard.
I know, this is, with everything that's happening with him and today's his birthday.
Sympathy points.
Oh my God. This guy, he's just running around.
We're not having a pop at him as a human being.
Yeah, I'm not having a pop at him, but I think, this guy he needs time off. Give it to me. This guy's obviously not all there. Give him time off. It's okay. Put Pereira there. We will struggle through it. We haven't had a number 10 basically this whole season. Can't wait for Pogba's return, but just get this kid out. Yeah, give him a holiday or something. I'm going to give him a 3.
A 3. I think that's a bit harsh. I think they played a little bit better than it. But anyways, yeah. Rita, what do you give me?
Like when we were going through these ratings and going to the midfield, I forgot it was even just Lingard playing. Like, yeah. Like he was non-existent in the game. It was quite bad. So I'm gonna give him a 5.
I could say the same about McTominay, to be honest with you. Really, I could say the same about McTominay because I forgot.
I feel like McTominay here and there there was those bursts, like that presence he has in that midfield. He had it.
He has the passion.
You see what Ole is always asking them to carry the ball into the midfield. Him, Maguire, and him. He's asking them to carry the ball into the midfield so they can hit those balls on the counter. So here and there he was doing that. So I don't think he was horrible.
Well, that's kind of the point of fan opinion. I do. What are you going to give him though?
Oh, I said who? Jesse.
Yeah.
5.
5. I think a 5 is fair. I'll give him a 5 as well. Yeah. But like personally, I did not see anyone in the midfield except Fred this entire game. Even when Lingard went off, I didn't know what was happening in the middle because for a point it looked like Rashford dropped into the 10, and then when Greenwood came on, after he scored, it looked like he was occupying the middle of the park. But we didn't even go forward that much anyway, so that was irrelevant. But moving on to the front 3, we'll start on the left-hand side. What do you guys give Rashford out of 10?
I mean, all I can say is, you've seen headlines today, he took his shots, he had that free kick, I don't even know. 6 is average. So I felt like Rashford was average. So I think 6.
Okay, Rita?
Yeah, no. I know he was selfish and the quality was lacking, but then think about Rashford, he's always trying and always putting the work. And he did have a couple of shots here and there. So I think an average performance of 6.
Look, I'm going to be consistent. I don't give sympathy points. You're not paid to try. You're paid to do your job. Jesse Lingard tried. McTominay tried. Who else? Wan-Bissaka going forward tried, but they were all shit going forward. Same with Rashford. His decision-making was terrible. His shooting was terrible. Pickford was even smiling when he made one of the saves because he was just like, give me more of this. I'll have some of that. He was giving him goalkeeper practice. When a goalkeeper is smiling at the camera in a competitive game of football, honestly, I think I'll have to give him a 5. I don't think he was horrendous, but I think he was below average because as a prolific winger, your job is to create chances, and he didn't. He was very selfish. His decision-making was poor. Decision-making is part of being an attacking player. He didn't create anything. I don't remember Rashford creating a single chance. I might be wrong, obviously, but I genuinely don't remember. Rashford creating a single chance. Every chance he was involved in, it seemed like he was the one shooting, and he was just crap, literally. We move on to the middle. What do you guys make of Anthony Martial?
Let me just put my hand up. I'm the first guy when it comes to Martial FC, but today, yes, like.
Martial's
yes, like. Today it was sad to watch my boy play like that. It looked like his head wasn't there. Yeah, it just looked like Martial wasn't there. He didn't even hold up the ball most of the time, which has been so great. Like, he had moments, but below average. I'm gonna give Martial a 5. I don't even remember Martial having a shot. Did he have a shot?
I don't remember Martial game, to be honest. I don't remember him touching the ball even. Obviously he did. I'm just saying I genuinely don't remember him either being in the game. Like, I can't tell you what Martial did in this game. I can't tell you which foot he used,
exactly,
whether or not he actually touched the ball or not. But Rita, what you giving him?
Yeah, no, I feel like it was below average. Because I feel like, yes, Rashford was bad, but then he still caused havoc with his footwork. And like Martial did nothing. So I think 5.
Yeah. It's hard because I like being very consistent with my ratings, and I feel like I've given a few people a 4. I can't remember who now because my emotions are really high right now, and I'm fuming at this result. But I'm gonna go ahead and give this is gonna be harsh, but there's no sympathy points. I'm gonna go ahead and give Martial a 4 because he wasn't even in the game. I don't even remember him taking a shot. Your job as a number 9 is to score goals. He didn't even take a shot. So like he didn't even make. It's like he didn't even make the effort to take the shots. Obviously he tried, but there's no sympathy points out here. So anyways, moving on. Dan James, the right wing, and then he moved to the left towards the end of the game. It was just all over the place. What you guys giving him? I mean, he did get an assist.
He got an assist, but I expected way more from him. Like, I'm gonna pass. Some to blame was he didn't get the service, but he should be beating this Everton backline. He's so much faster than them. But you get what you get with Dan James. That run and then just a cross, flat ball on the ground. But he isn't. I'm gonna say Dan James is average, so 6. Got the assist.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like a big difference between Man City and Man United and Pep Guardiola style and Solskjaer style is that Pep style is drilled into his players. Like, it's a repetitive thing. So you're gonna get at least an average performance almost every game. With our style, it's based on individual brilliance. So it becomes hard because a player can have a good game one day, the next day they won't. So I feel like it was one of those days for Dan James, and I think a 6.
Look, I think a 6 is fair. I think a 6 is fair because he did get the assist, and he's the direct reason. Oh wow, him and Greenwood are the direct reasons why we got anything out of this game, really. But I just want to give a bit of a rebuttal to Shawnee there again. Like, if anybody's going to use the argument that our attackers didn't get service today, I would give a bit of a rebuttal there and say, firstly, Luke Shaw created about 4 or 5 chances alone. He crossed the ball about 4 or 5 times because I was purposefully counting just so I can make this argument. And I'm pretty sure he made more, but I'm only sure 4 or 5 times. And nobody took them in the box. Nobody was there. Harry Maguire was just lazy in the air, so he had his chances, and he's not a striker anyway, so I shouldn't be having a pop at him. But the second part is Dan James and Marcus Rashford, and to a certain extent Martial about once or twice, all had a chance in an advanced position to make something happen. They all were in possession of the ball. Like, they had
You should have scored. Dan James should have scored today. Or made an assist with that first through ball.
Yeah, okay, I won't blame him for that because, players miss chances. That's whatever. Maybe if it was Martial, I would be taking a pop because he is our number 9. But that's not even what I'm talking about. They all had the ball in the final third. And instead of making something happen for other players, they chose between James and Rashford. They chose to go and have a pop for the headlines. And that to me is inexcusable. You cannot blame Fred and McTominay and Lingard when you legit had the ball. Like, you're contradicting your statement. You're contradicting your statement. You're saying these guys are not getting the ball, but today they had the ball in advanced positions and they didn't make anything happen. And to me, that's just a sign of a lack of experience, a lack of clever decision making. a lack of IQ and maybe a combination of just not having their shooting boots on. Because if they had scored those chances, then you know what? I can't say anything. You know, they scored. So fair play. But they didn't even make Pickford work because Rashford shot it straight to Pickford most of the time. Pickford was even smiling. So I don't buy that excuse at all.
I agree. I agree with you 100%, and the blame has to go to them. But I feel like, you can hear. I'm looking at the bigger picture. I feel like there's a bigger problem at hand here. It's not Fred McTominay. Okay, it is to a certain extent, but then we're not blaming them here.
There's a lot of problems. It's not black and white, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, and it's partly also, as you say, the front players. But then I think the biggest problem is the style, because you watch Chelsea, you watch Liverpool, you watch Man City. Even if the front line has off days, they will have loads of chances, and that makes it so much easier because even if you had a bad game, you still get a tap in because it's moving, it's flowing, and we don't have that, and it causes a headache for us.
Definitely. So I'm not saying that the reason why we lost today was because of Dan James and Rashford. That's not what I'm saying. The whole team is to blame, and Ollie and the coaching staff. I agree with that 1,000,000%. It's not black and white, but that doesn't make it an excuse, and that's all I'm saying. You know, you can't just use that as an excuse, like, oh, James wasn't getting service. What do you mean? He had the ball at his feet. That's literally the definition of getting the ball, is having the ball. That's proof that someone passed it to you, unless James won it all the way in defense and ran with it by himself to the other team's half, which didn't happen. So you know, like.
But even though that one through ball was all the way from Lindelof and he pinged it through everyone.
So, you know, like, yeah, we do have to be fair to our attackers and say the system is broken. And I agree 100%. But we shouldn't give out sympathy points and give everyone higher ratings just because the team's in a crap place. It's like the team's in a crap place and you're also in a crap place. You're also to blame for that problem. And that's all I want to get across. We can move on to the subs now in terms of player ratings, I guess. I think we've covered everyone. I also gave James a 6, by the way, in case I didn't make that clear. I think Mason Greenwood is the one we'll start with, the only relevant sub.
Ruud van Cristiano Mason de Greenwood. That's his name. That's his new name. Or maybe we should just rename him Jesus, actually, because my God, this kid.
Yeah. It takes
you know what? I don't care what Ollie has to do. Get this kid in the team now. Yeah. This is ridiculous. He is the guy out of nothing. He can somehow find the back of the net. Out of nothing. The net.
Yeah.
And some of the world's best players have moments like that out of nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give Mason an 8.
An 8, okay. That's fair. I thought you were going to give him a 9 because, you know, Greenwood FC.
No. Let's behave. Let's behave.
To be honest, I don't see the problem with giving a 9. To be honest with you guys, because
it's your opinion. It's your opinion.
Yeah, true. I feel like he won. He would have lost without him. That goal, and it wasn't an easy finish. He got the first, so I feel like that deserves man of the match and deserves the 9 in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely man of the match.
Again, I'm going to play the devil's advocate because I really enjoy doing this. But I will say this. You know, you can give him a 9. You can give him a 10 if you want down in the comments down below. But the idea behind giving someone a 9 implies that they did nearly nothing wrong. And yeah, while Greenwood, you know, pretty much did score a beautiful goal, it's like he wasn't, and it's not his fault. I'm not saying this is his fault. But like he wasn't there besides that goal. Like he wasn't there, and that's not his fault, obviously, because he wasn't getting service in that second half. And to be fair, he came on in the second half. But like, you know, judging a player's entire performance based on one moment of brilliance to me is just, it's being a little bit of a passion merchant.
Like, Ollie needs to stop relying on this individual brilliance. Like, come on, plan B now. Come on.
This is a big talking point we had last week, you know, where I gave Pereira a 7 because I feel like he directly influenced the game and that's his job as an attacker. He only needs one moment of brilliance. So I'm not against, you know, people giving high ratings because, yeah, he is the reason we drew the game. But at the same time, like, I feel like you have to judge the whole performance, not just one shot, you know. So I'm gonna give him an 8 as well. I don't think he was nearly perfect because I don't think he had the chance to be nearly perfect. I think he had the chance to just be good or brilliant.
Yeah.
And that's fair.
Man had a goal out of nothing. That left foot. Put
not
it through the
Green.
guy's legs even.
Yeah, if he had gone on and scored a brace or even a hat trick, if we had a half competent team. Then
But like I said, like I know Oli disaster class, you know, Oli's like a 1 out of 10. But you know what? The only thing I liked was that again, at least he made that early start. It's all I ask, you know. It's all I ask.
Yeah, I'll give Ole a 1 out of 10 as well because he does.
Just 1 out of 10, all because he put
Because he
Greenwood
did
on
one
60th
thing
minute
right, and that was
for Langa. That's why you get 1 out of 10, Oli.
yeah.
My God.
All is worrying. All is so worrying.
Yeah. Well, we've done the player ratings. We've talked about what this result means for the team. We've talked about the tactical setup and how poor it was. We've talked about how mad we are at our football. The only thing I have, and I've gotten written down on my notes here, left to talk about is what now? What now?
I want to instant bounce back and result against our next game. No excuses, must win. Now we need to go on a freaking run.
Yeah, I agree.
And when January comes, I want signings. I want midfielders and I want to strike. I want Haaland to come in and hopefully that'll be our plan B. You know, just a long ball or cross it in and hope.
I'm going to say this now, and I'll preface it by saying that I'm very emotional at the moment, and my opinion might change after the next result because I'm allowed to change my opinion and I'm human, I'm not a flip-flop. But honestly, after what I saw today, after what I saw against Aston Villa and many other results before that, including the Sheffield United result, honestly, I'm bordering along the lines of being done. And that's not being Ollie in or Ollie out. That's just done. Like, in an apathetic, negative, not caring kind of mood. Because this team, they do this time and time again, man. And, you know, it's not the first time under Ole. It's worse under Ole. But against Mourinho, I mean, not against, with Mourinho, with Van Gaal, even to a certain extent, Moyes, I'm honestly done with this team. I don't trust them. I don't trust their ability to stay consistent. Even if we do turn a corner, even if we do go on a magical run for the next
3 months.
I don't
and
see
the next
it
3 months is losses.
Yeah, like I don't see it happening until the end of the season. I don't trust this team, to be honest with you. And it really pains me to say this, but I just don't trust this team. From top to bottom, I don't trust this team. And I like some of the players in this team. I really do. Even Greenwood, I like him, but he's still young. We can't be relying on someone who... he hasn't even played a season in the Premier League. We can't be relying on a person like that to be... I mean, obviously we should. And obviously he's in form. And obviously he should start the next game. But what I'm saying is it's pretty sad where we've come as a club to where, like, we're looking at a player who's supposed to be developing. We're looking at a player who's supposed to be developing to rescue us from a string of poor results. That's just...
He's rescued us multiple times now. Every freaking game he's there, he rescues us.
And the question I would say is, what happens if Greenwood gets injured? Or if Greenwood just so?
Oh, let's just say, you know, he's just a kid and then his form just goes, you know, because he's still a kid.
Yeah, he will.
Exactly.
He will.
Then it's child. Then it's child. It's actually child.
He's not going to score every game. So what then? Who do we look to? We're going to wait for another penalty from Rashford.
Like, I just don't know. Like, I don't know with this team anymore. You don't know what's coming. Just so annoying. And
well, actually, based on the evidence, we should have known better as a fan base not to trust this team. Based on the evidence, we knew.
I knew, but you know the recent results, like, you know, this is positive. You know, maybe he's turning. There's always that devil's advocate in my mind, though, saying that I had a feeling this was going to happen against Everton.
Same.
I had a feeling the football would be bad, but I just thought, you know, the momentum would get us through. But like, phew.
Yeah, I thought that, you know, it might not be pretty today, but somehow we get the result.
And I feel like we're probably going to lose a game in December. I feel like we're not going to sign enough midfielders. It's, to be honest, for me, it's not looking bright for the rest of the season. Honestly,
like, I'm bordering on the lines of done, like I was a few weeks ago. If you guys remember before the Villa game, even I was like, we're not winning this game, we're drawing. That's going to be my attitude going into the next few games. Wow, like I'm bordering along those lines again, because like the evidence has been there this entire season. Like, this is nothing new. Like, we seen this happening before. It's the same movie. It's playing on repeat. Like, we've got no new movies on our playlist. It's the same movie. We need to go out and get more Christmas films because this movie is getting boring. And if Ollie doesn't change something, I'm honestly done. I don't know what else there is to be said. It's almost as if before every freaking game, Ollie's just like, go out there and express yourselves. Go play. Actually, he did say it, didn't he? In a press conference.
He said the lads are going to express them.
Yeah. Like Chelsea basically said, here you go, here's top 4. You can have it. And we were like, no thanks.
Yeah, we'll pass it on, don't worry.
Yeah.
Now Mourinho is there smiling.
Look, if you don't leave a like on the video, I won't be surprised. But please do leave a like on the video. Please do subscribe. It's been a very all over the place video today. It's been a lot of ranting, been a lot of negativity, and from my part, there's been a lot of talking from a very angry place, and I apologize for that. But
Yeah.
I'm just a fan like the rest of you guys, and I'm very upset, as you
You
can
gotta
tell.
let the emotions out. You can't
Gotta
talk.
let-
And for you
Very-
fans there in the comments, saying win, lose, or draw, United till I die. You know what? It's okay. That's your opinion.
Yeah.
An opinion is like an asshole. Everyone has one. Thank you.
And I want to conclude the show by saying this. Look, I'm very disappointed by this result. I'm not disappointed by just the result. Don't get me wrong. The result is terrible. We shouldn't have gotten a draw against Everton, especially not with an own goal. But more than anything, it's the bigger picture. It's the fact that we showed no conviction today. We showed absolutely nothing. Besides the first 10 minutes, we showed nothing. And I don't care what you say. Like, the pass from the middle of the park to Greenwood, that was not an amazing $1 million pass from Daniel James. That was just a normal standard pass that he should be making every time instead of thinking he's Ronaldo and going for a shot. And after he's failed the first 3 times, that's a normal pass. And that was just individual brilliance from Greenwood. Besides that, there's nothing else to talk about in this game. There's nothing else to talk about. There really isn't anything else. So I think we should just end the video there, guys. Anything else you guys want to add on to this?
You know what? Thanks for all the support that you guys have been showing. The views in our video, Instagram likes. Do follow us if you aren't already. Subscribe, like, and comment.
Yeah, what he said. We'll see you in the next one, folks. Hopefully, we'll be more positive. Peace out.